Hi everyone, and thank you so much for watching my channel, The Witty Turtle. In the last class, we completed illustration number 1 of life cycle costing, and in today's video, we are going to start with illustration number 2. So before understanding the question of illustration number 2, we need to understand certain cases which might be there in your, which might come in the in the upcoming questions. So we need to clear our basics first. So when it comes to decision making in life cycle costing, we need to understand certain points. So the first case is, you have to read, whenever you find a question in the examination hall, first you have to read the question, then you have to check for three things. The first is what? When it asks you for decision making, so you have to check whether there is only one option available or there are more than one options. लाइक दो केसेस अगर दिया होगा कि हाँ चलो जैसे ये वाला क्वेश्चन है, एक्स है एक प्रोडक्ट, वाई है एक प्रोडक्ट, सो इसमें से दो में से कौन सा लेना है. अगर वैसा वाला सिचुएशन होगा, सो व्हाट यू नीड टू डू, दैट यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड. सो फर्स्ट यू हैव टू चेक वेदर देयर इज ओनली वन ऑप्शन अवेलेबल और देयर आर मोर देन वन ऑप्शंस. देन यू हैव टू चेक whether the cost is given or whether the revenue is given or whether discounting rate is given, right? So the first case says when cost and revenue both are given in the question but there is no concept of discounting rate. Discounting rate अगर नहीं दिया है, then what you have to do? अगर single option है question में, then you have to check whether that option is making profit or not, whether that option is profitable or not. If it is profitable, then you have to accept that, and if it is not making any profit, if it is making loss, then you don't have to accept that. And when you have more than one options, then you have to choose that particular option which is making the highest amount of profit, right? ये सबसे easy वाला question था, ठीक है? Easy वाला case था. The next case says when all the three parameters are given to you in the question. Cost is also given to you, revenue is also given to you, and discounting rate is also given to you. So discounting rate क्यों है? Because in life cycle costing you are considering the future value of certain things, right? What will be the future value of this particular product? But you have to bring that future value to the present value, and present value के हिसाब से you have to take the decision, right? So when all the three parameters are given to you in the question, then if it is a single option question, then you have to check whether the net present value is positive or not, and if it has more than one options, then you have to consider that option which has got highest positive equivalent annual net present value, right? Net present value क्या होता है? We will understand that in the after studying this. The next case says what? If you have only one parameter given, that is the parameter of cost, and revenue and discounting rate both are not given, तो single option वाला वैसा question रहेगा ही नहीं. There will not be any such question. But if you have more than one options, then you have to check for that particular option which has got lowest cost, जिसमें cost सबसे ज़्यादा less होगा. You have to go with that cost, that option. This is a very common sense thing. If you have only cost given in the question, so obviously you have to choose for the lowest cost, because obviously if you would decrease the cost, then profit will automatically increase. And in the last case, what is it saying? If only cost and discounting rate is given to you, and obviously revenue is not given to you, then single option वाला तो case होता ही नहीं है. There is no such cases. But for this case, you have to calculate the equivalent annual cost. Equivalent annual cost, and whichever option, if it has got more than one options, then whichever option is having lowest EAC, lowest equivalent annual cost, then you have to choose that particular option. Now we will understand what is the meaning of EANPV. ठीक है? Equivalent annual net present value क्या होता है, that we will understand now. In financial management of CMA Inter, you have already studied the concept of net present value. So how will you calculate net present value now? Whatever cash inflows you have, right? In life cycle costing, we have to calculate the profit. Profit कैसे होता है? आपका sales price जितना होता है minus cost नीचे आ गया आपका प्रॉफिट, राइट? दिस इज व्हाट हैपेंस जनरली. But when it comes to net present value, how will you do this? Simply, you have to calculate the present value of all cash inflows. Why am I saying present value? Because obviously, if you are taking the amount of revenue generated in its entire life or life cycle of that particular product, then यहाँ पे तो बहुत सारे years हैं, 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, right? So whatever amount of money you are making in 2021, इसका value will not be the same as the same amount of money that you are making in 26. So for example, in the year 2021 you are making 10 lakhs of revenue, and in the year 2026 you are making a revenue of 1 crore, right? But we know that the value of 1 rupee in 2021 is much higher than the value of 1 rupee in the year 2026. So obviously you have to convert this 1 crore rupees into the present value of 2021, right? So that is the reason why we have to calculate present value of cash inflows, because the decision we have to take now only, right? We have to calculate whether it is profitable now in 2021. लाइफ साइकिल अगर पूरा हम देखें तो क्या ये अभी प्रॉफिटेबल हो रहा है, राइट? आई होप यू आर गेटिंग माई पॉइंट. सो प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ ऑल कैश इनफ्लोज दैट यू हैव टू टेक हाउ मच इज द अमाउंट, देन यू हैव टू टेक द कॉस्ट. कॉस्ट में क्या हो जाएगा? प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ ऑल द कैश आउटफ्लोज, राइट? यू हैव टू रिड्यूस दिस, एंड इसके बाद जो भी आएगा दैट अमाउंट विल बी योर नेट प्रेजेंट वैल्यू, right? Now we have to calculate equivalent annual NPV, right? EANPV. I'm saying this as EANPV. So how to calculate equivalent annual net present value? Simply you have to take the amount of your net present value, and then you have to divide it with cumulative present value factor of its entire life. ठीक है? तो इस फॉर्मूला को we can write it as NPV divided by CPVF, and this is your N. N क्या है? N is your total number of years in its life. Okay? So ये क्या है? This is your formula for EANPV, right? I hope now it is clear to you. And how to calculate cumulative present value factor, that we will understand in the question itself. For example, इसका मैं एक simple सा formula I'll tell you. For example, you are your discounting rate, मतलब 2026 में whatever revenue you are making, you have to convert that for 2021. So how many years are there? 5 years. So in these 5 years, your number of years is 5, and here your discounting rate is given as how much? Discounting rate is given as 10%, for example. So इसके लिए फॉर्मूला क्या है पता है आपको? इसके लिए फॉर्मूला है 1 divided by 1.1. Why is it 1.1? Because 10% discounting rate है, ठीक है? Then you have to press equal for the number of years. n times आपको equal press करना है, then आपको GT press करना है calculator पे. I'll show you how to do this. This is your calculator. Simply 1 divided by 1.1, and then how many years we have now? We have here 5 years, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you have to press GT. ठीक है? Whatever the value is, that is the cumulative present value factor for those many years, for 5 years in this case, right? I hope this is clear to you. और अगर clear नहीं भी हुआ है, so when we will do the question, it will be clear to you.